Welcome to the official podcast of Joey's Song. You know, at Joey's Song, we have one mission: raise as much money as we can so that research into finding treatments and cures for epilepsy can get the funding it needs. We would love your support. If you can subscribe and leave a review of this podcast, it will help more than you could ever know. If you have a couple extra mouse clicks left in you, go to YouTube and our YouTube channel, Joey's Song, and subscribe. There. In less than 2 minutes, with a couple of mouse clicks, you will have made it easier for others to find us and help spread the word. Now, if you want to do a bit more, head over to joeysong.org, consider buying a show ticket or some merch, or even making a donation. Thanks. You know, we'll beat this disease, and together we'll have some fun doing it as well. Join us. All right, let's do this.
Scoreboards and Setlists. Mike from Joey's Song in the house. I was just talking about Joey's Song earlier today, Mike. I was reading an interesting article involving one Butch Vig.
Yep.
Well, again, explain Joey's Song,
Yep.
how it came to be, and what it is now with Carry On a Legacy.
So Joey's Song is now it's turned into some charity concerts that we do. Memory of my son Joe, who passed away in 2010 after battling a rare form of epilepsy. And I was fortunate, you mentioned Butch, to have gone to college in the same era when Butch was kicking around Madison. We were both in the music scene. So we hold concerts every year in January in Madison. We bring in cool Rock and Roll Hall of Famers and Grammy winners. And Butch curates the show, and we try to raise a boatload of money.
Which you do.
We do. We do okay.
We want a Noah's Ark size of it coming up.
Yes, we do. We need the money to come in 2 by 2. So we do that, and we raise money to write research grants.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, the people that come through, incredible, man. You get, let's see here. I'm just on joeysong.org.
Yep.
Kurt Smith, Tears for Fears.
Yep.
We got John Resnick from the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yep.
We got Rick Nielsen, Cheap Trick.
Yep.
And his guitar sometimes is as big as Noah's Ark, with all those necks.
One year he brought in, so he owns one of the 59 Les Paul Gibsons, which are like the rarest guitar. And one year he brought it and played it, and I think everybody just kind of went around it to get the aura coming off. I mean, that's like the guitar.
Well, Les Paul's from Wisconsin, too. So
Wizard of Waukesha.
I know. And I love my favorite guitar, man, because I play guitar.
Yeah.
I dabble in guitar. I used to play nonstop, and now it's, as I get older, whatever. But my friend's dad had it was a Gibson Les Paul Custom.
Yeah.
Silver Burst.
Oh, yeah.
I got to remember the year. It was,
Yeah.
I think it was
Any of those from 56 to 63 are
I think it was a 78. It was, it just played like butter.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and the story behind it, of how he figured it out. Yeah. That's what they talk about, man. There's the Telecaster tone, and then there's the Les Paul tone, and they're very different.
They are very, very different. Yeah. And it's, I mean, look, you got like a Jimi Hendrix rocking a Strat. And you have then what is Jimmy Page rocks a Les Paul.
Les
custom.
Paul, Springsteen, and Keith Richards do the Telecasters. They've all got their thing. Right?
I know.
And it's amazing.
It's funny when you see, like, you hear a guy playing a guitar, you're like, that's the axe he plays?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I think Rick had some Kramer guitars, too, back in the day.
Hammer.
Hammer, yeah.
Still, he has Hammer #1. Again, he's got this huge collection, like in a secret vault. Someday I'm going to get him to show it to me, but he's got the one of that,
really?
that Hammer style with the
I
neck,
love the neck on it,
like the gooseneck or whatever they called that.
Yeah, I wanted a flying V for the longest time.
Yep.
And then it's like,
I've heard that those look better than they sound, and I've heard that they're a little awkward. The balance isn't great on them.
So my buddy ended up getting one, and we were at band practice, and someone that was just there checking it out accidentally, like, hit it when I was on the stand, and it toppled. The neck broke off, which is a killer for the guitar.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
It's not he glued it back together, and it just never came back around.
That's right. I don't play at all. But I've heard from people that the balance on they're really hard physically to hold and play. They look cool. They look cool as hell.
I ended up getting a Gibson SG.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I got one of my first jobs I had was a High Point Steakhouse. I was a busboy in a dishwasher, and I was saving up to get because I had like a starter Ibanez guitar and this, but I wanted like a really nice one, so I got a Gibson SG. Yeah, and I love that thing, man.
There are
Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi.
Yep,
With the SG.
Mr. Four Fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, speaking of all these names, Mike.
Yes.
You always have the brainchild coming up here for every Fridays. Hit us with the brainchild today.
So I was thinking. So if you've listened before. I'm obsessed with this podcast called The History of Rock Music in 500 Songs. And it's this guy who takes songs and does hour-long podcast. The song may come out in 64, but he'll go all the way to Benny Goodman and lead it up to where the influence, stuff that's miraculous to me. Mm-hmm. And I realized that there's so many fascinating people besides great musicians in it. And I thought, every time you hear one of these stories, I go, man, I'd love to have a beer with that guy, whoever he's talking about. Yeah. And I just thought about that, and I thought you and I, again, we kind of play off the millennial boomer thing. If you had to pick people who would you want to go have a beer with and have, an hour or whatever it would be to talk to. And I just thought that would be interesting for you and I. Now, the thing about this list that you come up with in your head is, I think there might be three ways to look at it, but there's two ways to look at it. Who would you have the most fun with, and who would be the most interesting? And sometimes those aren't always the same.
There's other people I'd want to be like, hey man, can I help you? Can I talk you out of the hole you're in right now? Yeah. Can I pull you out? Can I help you?
Or if you could go back in time, can I help you avoid that big mistake that you're about
like
to
this
make?
Album you're going to release? Like don't say this either. Yes. Yeah. But Mike, you wanted to kick it off. Your idea.
Sure. So the idea was a musician, living or dead, that you would like to have. And I opted, most of mine, except for one, is I'd like to really have an in-depth conversation. Sure. There's one I would like to have because I think would be a blast. But so the first one would be John Lennon, because I want to find out, first of all, you say Lennon versus McCartney. McCartney's been interviewed to death. I mean, he is the master of promotion. Paul, has a shave and he does 3 press conferences over it. So we've heard every story about Paul. I want to find out what's true about Lennon and, was he that SOB that everybody claims he to be? Was he this misunderstood? And depending on what era John I got, if I got John in 75, it would also be a heck of a lot of fun because that's when he was having his lost years. But I just want to ask, there's a million questions. That would be tell me about, where did this come from? That kind of stuff. So John would be my number one to sit down with and have a beer.
See, I was looking at this too. I was looking at partying, conversation, some funny as well. So it's funny you bring that up because one of them I was kind of toiling this around in my head. I'm like, I like to get down with a little conspiracy theories once in a while. Yeah. I would like to talk to the dead Paul McCartney and have a beer with him and be like, hey, how does it feel to be replaced with your stand-in Billy Shears?
Yeah, that's absolutely. And how did they find a double that actually sounds like?
How did they find a double? Did you have a twin brother, Paul? Before he the Rubies got hit by a car or something or whatever it was?
Right. Well, and they for 50 years since then tried to cast people in Beatlemania, and they've yet to find anybody that looks like him and sounds like him. Yeah. But they could do that on the fly back in '67.
So you died in a car crash in the '60s, man. Yeah. And the cover-up was, they had the clues in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. They had if you spun this track backwards, it'd say Paul is dead.
Yep. You look at the album cover of Abbey Road, and on the license plate it says 28 if, meaning Paul would have been 28 if he had lived.
So I'd take the dead Paul McCartney and be like, how does it feel to see your friend's success without you and being replaced, and they pretended like they never missed a beat.
And how did they find a guy that can write great songs like you too? That's miraculous.
That's the one. That's the first one I would do. Going off your Beatles.
Yeah, no, and that's a great one because that's just part of that glory that is the Fabs.
It would be funny.
Yeah, that's a really good
Paul
one.
would be like, I'm not dead, idiot. I'm right here. Yeah.
And won't it be
So I've been dodging this my whole career.
No offense to Ringo, but won't it be funny if Paul's the last living Beatle? You know, after being the first one to die, he's going to be the last living. I mean, I hope they both lived into their 150s. But...
I mean, theorists claim, though, Mike, that a hand raised over Paul's head on the album was the symbol of his death. Okay,
there's so many wearing the red carnations, the black carnations, out of step. The other one, the one about they're all dressed in various costumes on the cover of Abbey Road. George is the grave digger, Ringo's the priest, John's the angel, and Paul's the corpse because he's got no shoes on. I mean, it's glorious stuff.
You know, maybe what happened really was it was called a thing called ego death. That's when you take a lot of psychedelics and the ego all of a sudden melts away. Maybe that's what happened too.
Who knows? But he did a great job.
Because I think that's how Sgt. Pepper's came to be. I think a thing called LSD.
Yeah, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, man.
I thought that was about someone Lennon's kid drawing a picture.
Yeah. Anybody that believes that, I got some land to sell you. All right, so who's your number 2 on your list?
This is partying for me, Mike. Okay. So this is partying for me. I would really I love like the grittiness of the rock band. I love the of Motorhead. I love the don't give an F. Just go out there and go balls to the wall. And once in a while, I do like going balls to the wall and getting after it. Yeah. Now, I'm not much of a Jack Daniels guy, but I definitely do it with Lemmy. So I would love get him back and party with Lemmy, dude.
I have never heard an uninteresting story about Lemmy.
Exactly.
Everybody, whether it's a brief encounter or a deep encounter, and I mean, and iconic. Just the whole stage
He's
presence
the ace
with
of spades,
singing up into the mic and all that other stuff. And
imagine the crowd too around it.
Oh, I can't.
That'd just be wild.
I can't. That's up there in the partying stuff.
So I like to take a walk on the wild side every once in a while, and I feel like that would be on the wild side.
That would be one where you'd make sure your insurance policy was up to date and that you had your health insurance card in your wallet.
I don't know if I could drink as much as he could. I think I could keep it for a while.
No. That was the fact that he made it as long as he made.
Very impressive.
It other than my number 2, I'll put them in a different order to match yours. Mine, for the exact same reasons, would be Keith Richards. Because I mean, you know the story of him having to get his blood changed so he can get into Toronto to play the gigs and all that other stuff. Yeah, you know that he would. It would also be interesting to talk to him, too, because there's a lot of myth and legend around the Stones as well, and who wrote what, and did you really with the tape recorder to satisfaction, you know, that story, right? That he woke up and all of a sudden it was there, and which he may have all of a sudden woke up, but I don't think it was from sleeping.
Definitely not sleeping.
No. But he would, and I know he's sober now and all that, but again, 1975...
Well, dude, how old are they now?
80s.
Yeah, for the partying that they did.
Yeah,
and you got like Mick Jagger's married to like a 20-something-year-old, like which is creepy. All this.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the Stones, you know the Bill Wyman story of his son and he married mother and daughter. But the opposite.
It's so weird.
Bill married the daughter and his son married the mom.
Bunch of money will make you funny, won't it?
Man, when you got nothing to worry about.
Caution to the wind.
They call it FU money, and they got it. So I think Keith would be both interesting from the party standpoint and the stories, because talk about what was it like to be part of that swinging London in the 70s and, you know, all that other stuff. And he seems like a pretty good dude. And, you know, you hear stories about Mick that maybe Mick's a little bit of a peacock and all that other stuff, but Keith seems like the kind of guy that would be like, all right, one more, you know, just and that would be fun.
He just needs some party PEDs to help him out with that one. I don't know if those guys ever. Is it always just one more? Is there ever a stop? I don't think so.
I don't think so until somebody drops.
And they wake up and there's a new song.
And then on their cassette tape. And that's exactly right.
I think number 3 for me, I'm going to do like a package deal here because this is the one where it's like, it's a little bit of a downer, you know, but because I love grunge. I love grunge music. And that comes from such a time. And for me, I was younger. So I was like, I was just a little kid when grunge was coming out. And then, by the time it was over, when I was in like middle school or whatever, but Alice in Chains, Lane Staley to me, unbelievable. Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, unbelievable. I would love to get those guys and just talk about the grunge scene of Seattle.
That Seattle scene.
And also talk to Lane Staley and Chris Cornell too, because I would love to know like why. It's like, and just be like, hey, listen, man, like we're here for you.
Right.
Continue to, like, I know the fight's hard.
Right.
I mean, hell, the third album with the three-legged dog for Alice in Chains, I mean, that's essentially Lane Staley's, like, every song is just him dying.
Right.
It's heavy.
Right.
So
right.
like, dude, and the MTV Unplugged with him where he was out of the limelight forever. They came back and he's just, it pulls at the heartstrings.
Yeah, no kidding.
Especially not, just like, dude, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I don't think any of us that don't come from that deep creative place can understand that.
No, yeah.
And yeah, obviously add Kurt to that as well, right? And
Kurt, yeah.
You know, there was something about that, but that was the grunge and the punk scene are kissing cousins as far as I'm concerned, right? And that was all about. It wasn't about writing perfect songs. It wasn't about virtuosity. It was about emotion and feeling and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And those front men, you know, now Lane didn't write a lot of the Alice songs, but Kurt obviously wrote most of the Nirvana songs. All those songs are pouring their heart out, and all those. So when you live as a raw, open emotion like that in your daily life, you can see where it. But yes, to have that conversation and
now it'd be a heavy beer to have, or maybe not even a beer, maybe a soda or some coffee or something.
Well, or go the other way and have some Malort or something.
Hey, I don't mind Malort.
Yeah,
it'd be a heavy conversation, but it'd be like, dude, like what you mean to so many people is like, I need you to understand.
Yeah, and instead of going down this path, write about this path. Because you might help some other people as well. Yeah.
How about 3 for you?
All right, so I'm going to stay on the lighter side of
I'll
things.
get back to light.
All right, I just want to. So mine would be Freddie Mercury because music and entertainment is about uniqueness, and there's never been anybody except for one other person on my list that has been unique as he was, both with his story and. You know, the stage persona that he had and the don't give a you-know-what about anything. And, you know, here was this at a time when you still had to be closeted gay man who couldn't be who he was, yet was who he was. I mean, there's such anybody that believed, you know, in the mid-'80s when they would deny that he was gay, and that believed that are, you know, in that same category of I got some land to sell you that we talked about a little bit earlier. And I just think he created a whole genre of frontman that has not carried. I mean, you can point to maybe Harry Styles, and there's a few that have gone on to that, and it almost like he was creating music to give that middle finger to straight society, right? I mean, we are the champions. Come on. I mean, and the bombast and the over the top and all that stuff. And if you've seen interviews with him, the other thing, and I think you and I have talked about.
It's going to be a fun party, too.
Yeah, well, that too, yes. The other thing you and I have talked about is how different a lot of these people are on stage and off stage.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen any interviews with Fred off stage, he's very quiet. And, you know, and here's this big personality. And to me, that would also be the interesting part of the conversation. Totally. So he's another one that's in that it would be fun to party with, but also talk what it was like to have to deny. I mean, there's millions of things that make me sad, but people that can't be who they are because society tells them they've can you imagine? I mean, you and I both kind of are who we are and unapologetically for the goods.
That's how I like to live my life.
And the goods and the bads. Can you imagine having that taken away from you?
Well, that's it's a sign of a nod to those guys that did it before too, to be, hey, live who you are.
Yeah.
Like, even if it in the face of scrutiny and all this, like, get out there and like, and for them, I'm sure, like, even in the movies, you see it like with your parents and society and this and that. And then finally, once you start coming into your own, and then unfortunately something tragic would happen. You know? Like, damn, dude. Like, damn.
Jimmy Buffett has a line in one of his songs that says, "Live a lie and you'll live to regret it." And I think that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Let's take a little break, Mike.
All right.
Scoreboard and set list. We got 4 and 5 coming up, or 2 and 1, or 1 and 2, whatever.
In no particular order.
I'm getting a little itch now, a little party itch in me.
Good, I've got some Malort in the car.
I got some Malort at my house, too. Wait, hang on.
Oh, no. No.
This is from Mike and Portage, one of our listeners. Malort mints.
Oh, good God.
If you want.
When your breath isn't awful enough.
Scoreboards and set lists. Our guy Mike from Joey's song. Mike, I'm going with my number 4 here.
Okay.
Mostly because of this song right here. There is a moment in the song where Ronnie James Dio says, "Oh, don't you know what I mean?" I've been listening for 5 minutes. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. No. What's a holy diver?
Yeah, I remember that video.
I don't know what he's talking. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
I would love to have him here just because the pageantry, the art, what it is to replace a legend like Ozzy as well in Black Sabbath, and also to really understand what the hell are you talking about in Holy Diver.
Did you ever listen to that Rainbow record? Those Rainbow records you did with Richie Blackmore? Those were the same back when it was Kings and Mystics and
I love that stuff. It's like what? It's like, dude, are you just like a big nerd?
Yeah.
Are you obviously you're nerdy, but are you like what inspired all of this?
I think it's here's my theory on that.
What's a holy diver?
They were too cool to write about women and the stuff most guys in their 20s write about.
Is that what it is?
That's my theory because Robert Plant did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Ronnie James Dio and Robert Plant, I'm thinking of like one sees themselves like a sex god in Robert Plant, and then you have what's Dio?
Yeah.
like a little
gnome.
Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Garden gnome. Ronnie James Garden Gnome. Yeah.
And what in the world is holy? What are you talking about for 5 minutes? What are you singing about?
And so, I don't want to make people angry, but some of my friends, we always talk about Kevin Cronin from REO and how he overpronounced everything. Yeah. Ronnie James Dio did the same thing. Yeah. It's that overpronunciation.
You need to need to enunciate.
Sit down at the table.
So my mom always told me that you need to enunciate.
Yeah. And I just
she must have been a Dio fan.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was, but in that same vein as Freddie Mercury, he was unique, man.
That's why I love it.
You hear Ronnie James Dio sing, and you know that voice immediately, man, and that's why I love it. That's what music is in a lot of ways. So
that's why I love it, man.
All right,
number 4 for you, Mike.
So here is my I may be 65, but I'm not dead yet person.
You're not dead.
I would go have a beer with Beyonce.
Really? With Beyonce,
to have
Queen Bee,
an hour with one of the most beautiful women in the world. Why would you not? So I'm sure I'd ask her about her music. I'd ask her about Jay-Z. I would just like to sit across the table from Beyonce for an hour talking because I may be old, but I'm not dead.
No, I like that. And she's very pleasing to the eye.
Very easy on the eyes. Very easy on the eyes. So that would be mine because that is my stake in the ground to old age is no. I would like to, even if we didn't talk. And I just sat there and went, I'm having a beer with Beyonce.
I say sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Oh,
so
man.
a mental image right there.
Yeah. And then, of course, the story I would tell afterwards would have nothing to do with reality. She phoned up Jay-Z and told him to screw off because she found Mike.
Now, my last pick might be a little controversial.
Okay.
But this guy has revolutionized the game. He made the album Graduation, man. But what he's doing now, people are like, what the hell is going on in this man's head? He's also changed his name. I don't even know if I get a word in. And even if I did, he'd probably get up and leave because whatever I asked wasn't either intelligent enough or whatever. I don't know what. I would love, and I probably wouldn't even talk. I'd probably just sit there. He'd just ramble for an hour. And I'd be like, what the hell did this guy just say?
Yeah.
But the beat's incredible, revolutionized what it was in the early 2000s. Kanye West.
Oh, man.
A.K.A. Ye.
Yeah.
Controversial pick, especially with the last year or two with Kanye. But I would just be like, dude, what's going on?
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And then he would just go.
Right.
I don't think I'd understand it or even comprehend it, but I'd just be like,
just sit there.
Like this, he made high school dropout or college dropout, man. He made Graduation.
Yeah. Well, but that gets back
my dark twisted fantasy, man.
That gets back to what we were talking about with the grunge guys. Is you want to know where that comes from?
Yeah.
How? Of course. Then the other one is why did you do that cover of that Queen cover that you heard I mean, there's another question to ask too. Yeah. What were you thinking, dude? Right. But
it would just be thought. It'd be like, what goes on in that mind?
Right.
Yeah.
Just you'd find yourself, if you got paid every time you said the word why, right? You'd make a lot of money. Why would you? Yeah. No,
why?
But see, that's the beauty of doing these kind of conversations, these lists, is because there's a million reasons to want to talk to these people. Mine would be, Beyonce deciding that she's leaving Jay-Z and coming to me, which is fine. But others is like, why, or is it true? I mean, dispelling the rumors would be great.
Yeah. What did you get the straight answer though?
No, God, not for most of these guys, because that's how they kept the mystique going.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of mystique, my last one would be Prince. I would sit down with Prince. I'm not sure a word would be said the opposite way, because I have a feeling he'd give me one-word answers. Well, because, or whatever. But to get into that brain and that mind and understand that creative process, because, the stories you hear about him, he had his apartment at Paisley Park Studio. All of his people had to live nearby because he could at 2 a.m. decide. And, I can't even imagine what that conversation would be like. That an hour wouldn't be enough, at least for me.
No, and you got to also get out of them too, if that were the case. Hey, can you release the 2,000 some whatever? How many it is?
Just open the damn vault.
How many vaults? How many is got in there? Like 2,000-3,000, something like that. Something crazy.
I've done the Paisley Park tour, and the tour guides are very coy about it. It's like, come on, just
release, just give it to us.
Just do it. And then also to talk about did you really need to do the love symbol thing? We get it. I
think that was a way to get out of contractual stuff with the record, right?
And he had Slave on the side of his face. Oh, yeah, it was
because he wanted to own all his own, and they just had him.
And they did, which is, I'm sure, part of the reason why some of these haven't been released, too, is that some of them are probably still owned by whoever it was, A&M or whoever had his contract. But
well, Mike, that's an unbelievable list, man.
Isn't it good?
Great list. And here's the cool thing about Joey's song, which you do. Some of these people that are at Joey's song are on a list of like, I'd like to have a beer with. You could have a beer. Well, that's what's cool about Joey's song, is because these are big time acts, big time artists that are doing things that you can't hear on a record.
Right.
That like it's like a one off. Like, I'm going to partner with this guy and this guy, and we're going to cover this song. It's incredible.
Well, and you can see a little bit of those influences by the covers that they pick. Right. I mean, they're picking. I want to do this song, and there's a reason behind it. And some of them are adjacent. I mean, Butch won a Grammy for producing Paul McCartney. The Bangles' big hit was written by Prince. That's an interesting story to have Vicky tell you how Prince came into their life. It's a great story. And, all of these were adjacent to so many of those people. And at a small venue like the Sylvie, I mean, let's be honest with you. You're in the first 10 rows at the Sylvie. You're interacting with those people. Yeah. It's not a video screen at the far end of Soldier Field that you're doing. And we're lucky. I mean, Rick and Bunny recorded with John Lennon, right? And those demos are out there. That was when he was doing the first Starting Over record. Yeah. So a lot of them are pretty darn close to some of these people that we're talking about. And like you said, would be on some other people's lists of... Yeah, I'd like to sit down and have.
Well, like Butch Vig, I'd like to sit down and see him how he, starts producing an album, a record, how he's recording.
And Sam and I have been lucky. We've been there when he was mixing Silver Sun pickups and recording live. Right? He's got a home studio, and they were in the other room.
They rule. They're so good.
And watching him, I'll tell you. If you've ever met Butch, he's the nicest person you ever want to meet.
Well, you were kind enough to have him on the show not too long ago.
When he's behind the board, though, again. Do it again. Now I need you to do that. I mean, he doesn't mess around at all.
He's a master at his craft.
He knows what he wants. He knows what he doesn't like, and it's
awesome.
It's watching Leonard Bernstein conduct an orchestra, man, when that dude is doing his thing.
And they all come together for Joey's song. Mike, if people want to advance plan, you get it on their calendar for Joey's song.
Yep. So first of all, the dates are January 8 and 9 at the Sylvie. We will start announcing guests and who's going to be there. You kind of have a clue because everybody comes back every year, but it's more of we'll be announcing some new guests soon. Follow us on the socials. Everything's Joey's Song, joeysong.org, and you will keep up to date on all sorts of new announcements and who's coming.
Love it, man.
Be epic, dude.
Awesome stuff, per usual.
Yep.
It's always a blast with you, Mike.
I got you.
Time flies so quickly when you're having this much fun.
Well, I'll go out and do that shot of Malort now.
You got to take a Malort mint with you. I'm telling you.
Man, I don't know.
And I guess we'll, for the scoreboard side of things, your Cubbies did find a way to win yesterday.
It's
I don't know how, but they did.
When you're down 4-0 by the time you're into the second inning, it's brutal, Juice. Brutal.
And Brewers have lost 2 in a row, so sheesh. We'll see what happens. That NL Central, man, still every team above 500.
Is that why we're talking Packers most of the time?
Well, you got Christian Watson inking, I guess. You got Micah Parsons saying he's going to be back mid-October.
Yeah, oh, good Lord.
Marshawn Lloyd's like, wants to change the narrative around him, and he embraced.
Hey, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end of the podcast. A quick reminder, if you can give us a follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast provider and write a short review, it will really help us out. If you can head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel over there, that's another big help. These simple acts make it easier for others to find us. And of course, head over to joeysong.org to join our community and stay up to date on all the news. Thanks, and we'll talk again real soon.
Learn more about Joey Song by visiting joeysong.org. The theme music was composed by Sam Gamal, and Joey Song is a federally registered 501c3 charity. Thanks for listening.